guys, and welcome back to my channel, Good Seed Investing. Today we are going to be talking about another indicator, and we'll be using the webull platform to take a look at that indicator. That indicator is none other than the Relative Strength Index, also known as the RSI. So, what is an RSI, or what is the RSI indicator? It's a technical indicator that is widely used by traders and investors to identify overbought or oversold conditions in the market. It also can be used for identifying the strength of a trend, and we'll look at both of those things here shortly. So let's first go ahead and get the RSI plotted on our chart. So we're under the indicators tab right here. We're going to go ahead and click on RSI, and as you can see, the RSI indicator pops up underneath the chart, underneath the volume and everything here. So we got our candlesticks, we have our volume, and then this is the RSI indicator. Now I'm on a daily chart, just to give you that heads up. And this is the SPY that we're looking at, the SPY ETF that we typically look at, which measures the S&P 500. So basically how you would read this indicator is that it goes from a scale of 0 to 100. And as you can see, I already have my indicators marked off with 70. And then down here is going to be 30. You may not be able to see it, but that line down there is 30. Now, the RSI is calculated using the closing prices of an asset over a specified period of time. So each closing price of these candles, so for instance, this candle right here closed at 421. Let me go back. You look at the corner, 421.46. The next candle closed at 430.76. The next candle, the next day closed at 429.66. So it's basically taking the closing prices of an asset over a 14-day time frame is the typical time frame. And basically it's using a scale of 0 to 100 with readings that if you are above 70, it's indicating overbought conditions. And with readings below 30, you're indicating oversold conditions. Now, let's quickly define what overbought and oversold means. So overbought basically just means that the price of a stock or an asset has risen too much too quickly, and traders may look at that as it's overvalued. So this can be seen on the indicator when the indicator rises above 70. And as you can see, it doesn't do it often, but every now and then you'll see it kind of dip up above 70 here. It did it here. It did it here, and it kind of tapped it here. Now, for oversold conditions, it's basically the opposite. Oversold conditions occur when the price of an asset has fallen too much too quickly, and traders may perceive that as undervalued. And this can be seen when the indicator falls below 30. And as you can see, it either respects the 30 line or it dips a little bit below it. Here it did it. Here it did it. And it hasn't really dipped below 30 yet, but it's heading towards 30 again. Okay, so it's important to note that overbought and oversold conditions don't necessarily mean that the price will immediately reverse direction, but it could be considered a warning sign, the price that, may be at an extreme and due for a correction or a recovery of some kind in the near future. So another way to look at this would be to look at it for the strength of the trend. So if we're on a scale of 0 to 100, that middle line would be 50, which would put us like right in this area here, right? And as you can see, it also kind of respects this area as well. We can safely say or consider that if the RSI is above 50, then the trend is still bullish. And if the RSI is below 50, the trend is bearish. And if you're not familiar with the terms bullish and bearish, there is a video that I have on my channel called Bulls versus Bears. Go ahead and check that out so you can get understanding of that terminology. But this will allow you to kind of look at the RSI as an indicator to say, okay, well, we're still in an upward trend or we're still in a downward trend. Now, as you can see, the chart and the indicator are very closely correlated and very closely related. So this was a trend that started here. As you can see, the RSI was down here around 33. And it just price movement up, up, up day after day. And again, this is a daily chart. So as you see the price movement going up, you can also see the RSI indicator moving up with it. Once it reached a point where it was past 70, we're considering this overbought. And now it's time for a cool off period, as I like to say. And as you can see, if I zoom in a little bit here, we'll see that every day stock was pretty much going up, and then it took some days off, and it kind of price started to reverse. And that brought the RSI indicator down here back under 70. So you can also use this as a way to determine whether to sell a stock. If you've been in a stock and you're saying to yourself, I'm trading the stock and I'm riding the trend, but when I start seeing it to be overvalued, I'm probably going to exit my trade because it's going to cool off. Now, how much it cools off or how little, we don't know, but that's where you combine this RSI indicator with other research methods and maybe other indicators that you may use, such as the moving averages that we talked about in previous videos, or the VWAP indicator that we've talked about in the previous video. So you don't want to just use the RSI as your sole basis to say that this is stock is going to go one way or the other, but you can use it as part of your confirmation. You can use it as part of your research when you're looking to invest or, more importantly, trade a stock. So it can be a really valuable tool to basically make your decision on whether the trend reversal is going to happen, or whether you think that stock is overbought or oversold. Now, once again, it's a quick little video. This is a technical indicator that a lot of traders like to use. I actually do use it in some instances. It's not something that I use all the time, but I do like the RSI as a additional confirmation to research I've already done before I enter into a trade. Hopefully this helps you all. I'm going to show you another example of another stock just so you can see how it looks on a different stock. So we're going to go to Apple. And as you can see with Apple, again, this is the daily chart. And Apple was on an uptrend here, as we can see. And as we can see, the RSI followed right along with it. Now, there's ups and downs with it, but for the most part, you can see this is on an uptrend. And once it reached and it extended above 70, as you can see, it took a cool off period. And so did the RSI. So a lot of times people will start to buy when it's down here at this 30 level, and people will start to sell when it's up here at this 70 level or above. Just as an FYI, it doesn't always work. So you don't, again, want to use it as your end all be all. As always, I again hope this video helps. Please like, share, subscribe, drop a comment if there is something that you'd like me to discuss on the next video. And I will see you all in the next video.